Bro said, Jay, can you do more like Cash Cobain drill type beats?
For sure.
I got you, bro. So in today's video, we're gonna be making a Cash Cobain type beat. So knowing that they're using R&B for the main core essence of the beat, like the melody and the chords, then you could kind of break it down from there. So I went ahead and picked out this pad sound from Fabric XL. So let's go to pad perform. You can hold down shift and 16 levels for a quick shortcut. And then we could go ahead and go to progressions. The MPC has built-in progressions for you and they're cool, you know? And if you click in, you can see all the different genres that they give you. So we could go ahead with R&B. Those two chords right off the bat, this sounds like smooth. So when I hear Cash Cobain, I'm thinking very wavy, and they always do this dance too. And you know, that's that wavy dance, you know? So let's go to our grid view and let's just plug in those two chords real quick. And then we could go back to shift and 16 levels to get the pad perform and find other chords that can match that vibe. You can even go to the different categories for different chords. And we could plug that in, double tap main. And one thing I want to mention on the MPC, because I do one-on-one calls with producers, they really want the MPC to be like the DAW that they was using before. You got to understand, the MPC is like an old computer. And if you approach it with that mindset, then the workflow is not going to seem that daunting. You're probably watching this right now like, dang, you got to do this just to get the chords layout. It's not really a big deal. I have a piano that is 88 keys right next to me. I can just hook that up or use another MIDI controller. Like, you don't have to feel like you're limited, but at the same time, if you're just going to work in standalone, it's good that there's even the option to put that all together, bro. Now, we ain't got to use an R&B sample. We get to use vocals that sound R&B-ish. So I found this sample from Splice. It sounds like this. We could go to trim. Let's try threshold. I want to bring this one a bit in. Now this vocal chop is in C sharp minor, as you can see right here. What I can do is tune the vocal sample to the key that I'm in, which is A minor, or I can change the key that I'm in to be the same as the sample. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the key to be the same as the sample because I actually like C sharp minor. And also some 808s do sound a lot better in different ranges. And I'll show you what I mean when we get to the 808s. So let's go to our grid view, double tap main. And we're just gonna go up here, change our tracks to pad, and everything is highlighted. We're just gonna be on transpose, and we're gonna shift up 4 notes to get to C sharp minor. And then from here, we could go back up to our tracks and go to our vocal chop and record a pattern. And by the way, if you was wondering how I had a vocal chop program already, it's because if you go back to the sample, all you have to do is hold down shift, go to convert, and then new drum program using slices. And I already did that step and I named it, and that's how I had a vocal chop program. Now let's get into our drums. As you can see, I'm not using a lot of drums, and that's a beginner mistake. You think you need more drums to fill up the space, but you really just need the right drums. So I have this kick right here, and just pay attention to the timbre of each of these instruments. This hat is a regular trap hat, but with the melody you're going to hear how this makes the track a bit smoother, especially because it's a short transient. And I got this snap, short transient, open hat, short transient. So the takeaway is definitely using the short transient sounds if you want that sexy drill vibe, because it ain't going to be some long reverb. And then I got the stump. And the thing I like about this stump, it's already filtered out, meaning that the low end is already cut out for you and it already sounds clean. Now let's plug in some drums. So double tap main. And to give the drums more of a groove, I'm gonna take it off of full levels so I could get the dynamics and the velocity. And one more thing too, I'm gonna also take it off of time correction so we can get more of that swing. And then we can add in our snap. And the snap is the same as the drill pattern. Now, as someone that's still working on their timing, I still kind of want to adjust it. So I could just go in, grab this note, Now I could adjust it by having don't snap on. I could go back to nudge, and you can see I could kind of move it around. You know, the grid view can act a bit funny, so you can kind of zoom out. I don't need to be perfect. That is close enough. And then there was this one that I kind of, you know, want to bring over. There's no rules to this. People will tell you like, nah, man, you messing up the human feel. Like, it's fine, bro. I'm still working on bettering my timing, and it's good to give yourself that time to build rather than forcing it. Now we can move on to the open hats, and the good pattern is to make the open hats land on the end. So one and. So one, two, so let's go. One and 4. One and 4. And we could just bring this in. Now we can add in the stumps. So that snap part, I feel like it's coming a bit late. I just want to adjust that. And I can move both of them together. So for the kicks, I'm going to put those in after the 808 so I can use it more as an accent rather than just layering it. So for the 808s, hold down shift, go to 16 levels to get the pad performed. And we just want to switch from progression to notes. And remember, we're not in A minor no more, so we're going to switch to C sharp. So now we're in the right key. And then I just want to go back to main. And the quick tip that I like to do with my bass lines, I like to go to the chords, and that's the pad track. Go to the pencil tool, copy that track over, and I'm going to put it on the bass track and just make sure I rename it back to bass. Press do it. So this way, when I go back to my bass, now I have the MIDI. And all I'm going to do is just take off the top notes. So just highlight all of that and cut it. So you're probably asking why you don't hear nothing, because anytime you copy your tracks over, you just always want to make sure that you change the program back. So we're not actually in a plugin, we're in a key group. Now we can play it. Now another thing about the bass line in the Cash Cobain beats is not that it's saturated, but it just sounds better because it's in a different octave range or a different key range. So in this instance, you know, you can't really hear it. So what I want to do is actually bring this up to probably like C3. So go to transpose. Yeah. Just added that little accent note right there. We could just edit the end and then bring this back. And then for this last note, I just want to take this away and then add that same pattern that I did with the stumps towards the end, where it's like doom, doom, doom. So going back to the drums, I'm just going to make the kick hit at whatever I feel gives it more of that bounce. For this note, I want to be a bit closer to this yellow note. So a little stuff like that, you know, you don't always have to have your kicks layer on top of your 808s. And I like how with this kick being off a bit, but let me just, you know, bring it in just tiny bit. Yeah. Now, as far as arrangement go, man, there's a lot you can do. You can switch up the bass line, switch up the hi-hat pattern, because the hi-hat pattern really dictates the whole beat. And then for the kicks, you could even add in like a kick part, you know, where the kicks is just hidden. There's so much you can do with the arrangement, even adding effects and layers. But as far as having the creative ideas, you still got to know how to arrange your beat on the MPC, whether it's using the sequence or the song mode. So you can watch this video next, and I'll show you all about how to arrange your song in depth. Peace.